Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Michael here. Something we don't do very often, and that's look back over content we've produced in the past and bring it out and repost it. But here, for a bit of throwback fun, is an item that originally was part of an episode of something we called the Prehistory show that we made in July 2020. That's 4 years back. It was in episode 1, I think, and it's still somewhere down in the timeline on the channel if you want to find it. However, I think it works well as a standalone piece, and I hope that you agree. It's all about finding a Neolithic cursus in the landscape near my home, here near Stratford-upon-Avon in Warwickshire. If you're not sure what a cursus is, and why you might be interested in what a cursus is, pause the video now for an explanation from Wikipedia over there, I think. Some of you may know that Rupert and I have a very different take on cursuses from the accepted explanation, but that's a debate for another time. In this video, I'm on a cursus hunt, during which I make a couple of very interesting discoveries, so keep watching to find out what they are. The journey begins in a hedge. A hedge just 1 mile from my house, up the road there where we were sitting just now. And I've chosen to start this report sitting in a hedge because if I'm right, this slight bank here may be the last vestigial remains of an early Neolithic cursus. A cursus is a highly enigmatic type of prehistoric structure named by antiquarian William Stukely using the Latin name for a course, imagining that they were Roman athletics tracks, as you would. The most visible and accessible example I know of is the Stonehenge Cursus, and thanks to Google Earth I can take you from the Sarsen monument here and fly you down the length of it. The Charlecote Cursus, or to be more precise, the Charlecote B Cursus, there being another a few hundred yards to the north, as with most cursus structures, can usually only be discerned in certain climatic conditions from aerial photography. You can see the faint marks on Google Maps here. The physical remains most often have been erased by ploughing and erosion. Here is my approximation of the layout on this aerial photograph, and I'm in the hedge about here. I'm actually going to come out of the hedge now, if I can, and walk down the road towards the village. So as it comes into the village, this road is actually following the southern line of the bank of the Cursus. I'm just coming to the junction with the main road that runs through Charlecote, and if I'm careful crossing and I cross over here, beyond this fence there's another fence extending into Charlecote Park, which extends and curves around to the right. It's the fence around the village church.
And if I come inside the churchyard and follow the fence round, I come to the point where the northern edge of the cursus would have ended.
Is this semicircular fence somehow preserving the original 5,000-year-old form of the half-circled terminus of the Charlecote Cursus? It's a form that many cursuses display. Not so long ago, before modern farming, the remains of earthworks such as these would have been much more apparent in the landscape. Stukely's own sketches tell us this.
Now, while people down the ages may well have forgotten the original purpose of the cursus, it is true that people venerate monuments they don't understand and honour them in ways that the original builders may well have found a bit weird.
The Church of St Leonard's, here as we see it now, is Victorian, but it is on an earlier site that dates back to at least the 12th century. Could it be that, like the church in the centre of Stonehenge in Dorset, that this building owes its position to an act of imposition by the church on something that may have been deemed a pagan monument? There even seems to be a vestigial ditch running just outside the fence as further evidence. And how many semicircular perimeters to churchyards do you know of, especially ones that seem to align with where you'd expect the terminus of a Neolithic cursus to be?
It's tantalising, isn't it? And it'll probably never be proven to be part of the remains of the Cursus. However, before we leave the mystery of the Charlecote Cursus, there's one more thing that I want to show you. Literally just back up the road a bit and I'm walking into what would be the overflow car park for Charlecote Park for the National Trust, and extending behind me I think you can see the avenue of trees leading down to the house.
It extends right down the approach to the house and through that to a double line of trees extending to the perimeter of the park. The park was designed by none other than the famous 18th century landscape gardener Capability Brown. Again, I can never prove this, but I strongly suspect that this wide avenue of trees follows the pre-existing bank and ditch of yet another cursus, utilised by Capability Brown as a template for this most striking of 18th century landscape features.
Really? How many cursuses did Neolithic folk need? Well, quite a lot it turns out, if the evidence isn't totally fooling us.
It is known that there were at least 4 in the complex near the Rudston monolith in East Yorkshire, and some of those even cross over each other.
I mean, even just here we've got Charlecote A and B cursuses, just to the north here. A mile further beyond there's another cursus. 2 miles beyond that there's another 3 cursuses. Over there 4 miles is 1 cursus, and if I walked half an hour in that direction I'd find another 2 cursuses. It seems duplication wasn't a problem.
So, back to my Capability Brown cursus. It's the right dimensions for one, it crosses water, as they often do, and look here. Aren't those vestigial marks of cursus ditches extending over into the next field? And that's about as much as I'm going to say.
But 2 points. If it's possible for me to walk out of my back door and be stumbling over prehistoric sites before I've gone a mile down the road, what might there be just lurking in the landscape around you? And 2, it's possible that in just the next village along, I've discovered a major Neolithic site hidden in plain view. And on that bombshell, let's go back to the studio.
Thank you, Jeremy. That didn't date me at all, did it? Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. I'm sure there are quite a few other gems hidden away in the archives that we can revive from time to time, but in the meantime, please do hit the like and subscribe buttons. And if you've got a moment, check out our Patreon page and our GÖBEKLI TEPE to Stonehenge project page. Links in the description below. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.